I'm not here to look cool. I noticed my thumbnail was really special. But let's talk about the subject. It's going to be a short one this morning. Just knocking out a simple idea of what it means to have closure to fall asleep. One of the most overarching important aspects of falling asleep quickly has to do with this concept of closure, so I wanted to clarify what closure means. Resolution. So one of the things that keeps people awake is thoughts of what they could be doing, what they should be doing, thoughts about the next day, thoughts about that previous day. And what I mean by the concept of closure is this. This thought, summed up in this phrase: the day is over, I can do no more. Now is the time for sleep. The day is over, I can do no more. Now is the time for sleep. That's what I mean by closure. It's pretty simple, but it's not simple for everybody because they don't want to believe those words. But if you believe those words, day is over, I can't do anything else, now's the time for sleep. If you believe that, then you will provide your mind and your body the opportunity to enter into sleep. That is one of the many aspects of, probably the most important, probably it's going to be the biggest hurdle for some, and it's going to be simple for others. You'll try it out and you'll be like, oh yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And all of a sudden, with that frame of mind, I'm falling asleep a lot faster. But you have to acknowledge that the day is over. I can't do anything else. But I could do something else. Well, fine, think that and don't sleep then. But going to sleep means you're no longer going to be productive. And that's the whole point of sleep, is a period of non-productivity so that your body can rest, because that's what we were literally designed to have, periods of rest. The one in the evening and the Sabbath. We are literally designed for that. So it's a lot to think about, guys. It's a lot to think about. Good morning before, but welcome. I see your name. I want to make it clear that I try to pray for everybody that I have interactions with, and that I get an element about who you are, or what you're interested in, or any of that. I think it's good for us to lift each other up in prayer. If I'm like, oh, this guy does music, and oh, this guy mentions he needs a job, oh, this guy is looking for a promotion, oh, this guy is trying to do this, whatever, prayer. Our Father in heaven, he listens. He listens to us. But anyway, this is one of many aspects of how to fall asleep in 5 minutes or less. That's what this stream this morning is all about. So I said I was going to keep it short. I feel like I tackled the idea way faster than I assumed I would be able to. What does closure mean? When we have restless nights, it's because of processing what happened that day or expectation of the next day. So another aspect of closure is how you know you're going to wake up. So that's another important aspect of this closure that I have. So if you have a nebulous concept of when you're going to wake up, nebulous as in unclear, you don't even know when you're going to wake up. So there's different ways you can wake up. There's natural, and that means I'm going to wake up whenever I wake up, non-consequentially. There is, I want the sunlight, the light of the sun, shining faintly in my bedroom to be the trigger that wakes me up. Well, that's going to do something different to your mind and your brain. It will result in a different quality of sleep. Because what happens is your conscious self makes you aware of it every time you sink back to stage 1 sleep. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, then you can go back to the other video of a similar title and talk all about it. I just don't have all that much time this morning. So every time you hit stage 1 sleep again, in between your cycles, you'll be cracking your eyes open. It's still dark. Okay, I'm back to sleep, which is fine. When we interrupt ourselves, when we have slight interruptions, so that one, so the light, right? That's an easy one. You crack your eye. Okay, it's still dark. Get back to sleep. Now, when it's time related, that requires you looking at a clock and acknowledging a time. You have to interpret, you have to read, you have to interpret, you have to understand. That's a different function of your brain, reading and understanding. And there's a certain level of awakeness that takes place when that's part of what you're doing. I'm going to wake up at 3:30. I'm going to wake up at 5:30. Well, every time you hit that stage 1 sleep, you're going to be like, oh my gosh, is that time yet? Okay, so that's time related. Now, what if it's an alarm related? I don't care about the time. I don't care about the time. I'm not going to look at my clock. I'm sleeping until I hear an alarm. I'm listening for an alarm. This is the preconceived notion that you have in your brain before you even go to sleep. These are different ways that you can have closure while you sleep. Are you expecting light? Are you expecting a sound? Are you expecting your kids to make noise? What is it that you're expecting and waiting for in order to crack your sleep to wakeness? So, that's what I mean by closure. Closure has to do with how your mindset when you go to sleep and your mindset during sleep. And you set your mindset up about your sleep time mindset before you go to sleep. I'm waking for fill in the blank. What am I waking for? Why am I going to wake up? Okay? I'm going to wake up naturally. I'm going to wake up when I hear my kids laughing. I'm going to wake up when my spouse wakes up. I'm going to wake up when you have to set your mind to what you're going to wake up for, and that is part of this closure that I'm referring to. So it's all very pragmatic, simple. But if you have trouble falling asleep, it has to do with a lack of closure, a lack of resolve, and these are some of the steps related to that. Okay? So these two things. First, acknowledge the day is over. The day is done. I have done everything I can. There is nothing more I can do. Now is the time for sleep. And I am going to wake. I am going to wake when this happens. I'm going to wake when I have to go to the bathroom for the second time. I'm going to wake when I have to go to the bathroom for the first time. I'm going to wake when I get prompted by potentially the Holy Spirit to pray. I'm going to wake when the light is up. I'm going to wake when there's noise in the house. I'm going to wake when my alarm goes off. It requires thoughtfulness. You have this thought before you go to sleep, and it affects your entire night's sleep. So for instance, I have, let's say, made the mistake of going to sleep, but before I go to sleep, I say, good morning. I say, I'm going to wake up as early as I can wake up, as long as I feel okay. Like, I've done this recently because of this overtime situation and all this overtime. I've been like, I don't really want to set a time. I'm going to wake up whenever I feel like my head doesn't feel like it's going to explode. I just want to wake up naturally, but as early as I can. And you want to know how? I'm fine. Thank you. So what happens when I think I want to wake up as early as possible, but also have had a restful night's sleep? Guess what I'm doing? I'm tricking myself. I'm lying to myself that I don't know how to have a restful night's sleep by doing the math. Because I do. It's a non-committal kind of way, and I'm telling you, don't do that. I've made the mistake, and it doesn't work. Because what happens is, at 1.5 hours, you wake up, and you go, has it been long enough? I kind of feel good. I'm okay. Oh God, it's only been 1.5 hours. Help me. I'm going back to sleep. Oh. Obviously. And then 3, and then 4.5. And you're like, have I slept enough? Oh gosh. I think. So, my point is, understand what a sleep cycle is. That's a 1.5 hour, 90 minutes period of time where you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, end of sleep cycle. It takes place over the course of 90 minutes. That's one sleep cycle. You need 3 sleep cycles, bare minimum, to have a real quality night's sleep. And there's a reason why. You need a sandwiched period of time. If you have 3 hours of sleep only, you didn't have a sandwiched cycle. You need a sandwiched cycle. This sounds really weird, but there's science to it. There's a lot of, it's just, hopefully it makes sense to you and it's not weird, but whatever. The reason you need a sandwiched period it also has to do with closure. It has to do with part of the release that takes place when you know you can sleep versus the paranoia and vigilance that's required when you're waking. If you can have a protected sleep cycle that is cushioned between 2 other sleep cycles, then you have had a thorough night's sleep. So 4.5 is the bare minimum. 6 hours works better. 7.5 is the max for anybody that's an adult. Children, however, can thrive with 9 hours. Four and a half hours is 3 sleep cycles, and the one in the middle, sleep cycle number 2, at the 1.5 to 3 hour mark, between 1.5 to 3 hours, is your most restful period of the 3 sleeps. The fact that you had gone to sleep to start with, and the ending sleep cycle is more than likely being interrupted. You can time it you can, once you know how quickly you can fall asleep, then you can start doing more precise math about, okay, so right now it's 9 p.m., or let's say right now it's 8:45, hypothetically. I know I'm going to be asleep by 9 p.m. I'm going to set my alarm for 6 hours plus 9, so that would be 3 a.m., right? So let's not do that. Let's say 9 p.m. and I'm going to do 4:30 a.m. I'm going to sleep at 9 p.m. and I'm going to wake up at 4:30 a.m. So that's 5 sleep cycles. That's 7.5 hours. And I am going to wake up at the 7.5 hour mark at 4:30 a.m. and I'm going to see how I feel. And if I fall asleep at 9 and wake up exactly at 4:30 a.m. by my alarm, expecting to wait for my alarm, not anything else, just waiting for my alarm, and you're like, wow, my head doesn't hurt, my eyes don't burn. When you wake up and you feel like, to an alarm or, usually an interruption, and you feel like you've been hit by a truck and you're like, oh, kill me now, life is horrible, and you feel so terrible, guys, it's because you're waking up in the middle of a sleep cycle. You were interrupted at stage 3, you were interrupted at stage 2, you were interrupted at stage 4, and you were abruptly torn from the sleep cycle. That's why you feel so horrible. It doesn't matter if you've slept 9 hours. If you wake up at 9, if you wake up at 9, you go to sleep at 9, you sleep 9 hours and 30 minutes. Well, if you sleep 9 hours and 30 minutes, I am telling you that you will be waking up in the middle of a sleep cycle, more than likely. Now, there's a plus or minus. There's a margin of error because everybody's a little different. In general, a sleep cycle is 90 minutes. Your sleep cycle might be 85 minutes. Your sleep cycle might be 97 minutes. In general, 90 minutes is very accurate. In general. Okay? Anyway. Hopefully y'all are getting the gist. Closure has to do with your mindset when you're going to sleep and your mindset of how you are going to wake. That's what this closure concept is all about. Your mindset of going to sleep and being done with the day. I'm free. I'm free. Nothing, the dirty dishes, the trash, the dirty floor, whatever it is. I need to do the laundry and this needs, all of that. I'm free. Going to sleep. There's nothing else. If you're going to do it, then just go do it and then go to sleep. But if you're not going to do it, then what oftentimes happens is people just straight up beat themselves up and abuse themselves over what they should have done or what they could still do. Stop it. Be more intentional with your time and your life. That's my point. And when you start doing that, you will start noticing that you're falling asleep better. Guess what else? You will start noticing that you're sleeping better. And guess what else? You'll start noticing that your days are more productive and that you feel better throughout the day. Okay. You'll be feeling better throughout the day, so on and so on. It's all good. You get it? Hope that makes sense. I don't have much else to say. If I were to keep on talking, it would spiral off, which I do. But I was just trying to keep this video pretty short. I wanted to clarify some things. I'll say it again to the folks that are here. I pray for as many people as I get to know. It has nothing to do with whether or not you're supporting my YouTube, my venture here, my goals, whether or not you're supporting me financially, regularly or intermittently or any of that. I try to pray for the people that I get to know. So I didn't want to conflate the concept of prayer and financial support, because that makes me nauseous. And that isn't me. That's not what I'm doing. Nauseous is a light way of saying that makes me afraid of God. So I'm not doing that, and I won't do that. So again, if I get to know you, we have conversations, I see who you are, the things you care about, see that especially if you're one of the ones that gets it, then you're part of someone who I pray for. And if you're not somebody that gets it, then knowing that is helpful too, because I obviously pray for the folks that aren't getting it to get it, because everybody needs to get it. Good morning. I'm about to say goodbye, just letting you know. But thanks for being here. Thanks for coming to hang out. Check out the video. I clarify closure, and I hope it's helpful. And we can pray for each other. In-group preference for those that get it. Find a Christian that does something that you need, and pay them money. Reward them for the skills and gifts that they have. So that's my point. Find somebody that is a Christian that does what you need. There's so many things. We need things all the time. You need eggs? Go find a Christian that has chickens. Or just get your own chickens. I figured out, yeah. That's good. That looks like my car. Maybe it's you. Maybe it's literally you. I'm just kidding. So there's one other thing. I figured out the PayPal link thing. It's got to be https://www.paypal.me/DevinJump. The www has to be there for YouTube to underline it. And I learned that by watching Bedros Van Peter, Bedros, whatever his name is, on YouTube stream. So that's that. All right,